So there are a lot of changes done in the system around all different applications like finance, supply chain, C, field services, all those applications. But right now we are only focusing on the finance, and there are many changes done in this, but we have only picked a few that we found very effective and very useful. So the first thing is obviously the grid and personalization related changes. And then second is the inventory journal workflows. Third is major changes in the vouchers form. And then changes in the financial reporter. And a huge functionality has been added in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance, which is credit management. We'll also run through that. Let me directly jump into the system to show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is Microsoft Dynamics 365 for finance and operation application. Let me quickly take you to the purchase order form. So the first thing that we are going to see is the personalization option where we can create our own views. So you can see that we have a new option here, which is the view. The default view is the standard view, but you have an option to create new views for yourself as per the filters that you choose, right? For example, like I have created 3 views here that I most commonly use. I want to see all the purchase orders for my supplier, Acme Office Supplies. If I select this view, you'll see that the screen filters and I only see the purchase orders for this supplier. If I choose another view like POs from Fabricam, so if I select that, I'll see the purchase orders for that particular supplier. So what we are seeing here is that we now have a very convenient option to use filters to create our own views. So let me quickly show you how we create a view. For examples, I want to see only open purchase orders on the form. So I'll quickly go and use filter for that. So you can see that I've filtered the form to show me only open purchase orders. And now what I can do, I can click here and then save this as an open purchase orders. I could make this as my default view if I want. When you click on save, so you can see that now this form says it is open purchase orders, which is clearly indicating what filter I've used here. Another major feature is the view management. If you go to manage my views form, you have an option to share your views that you have created with other users. Like just now I created a personal view, open purchase orders. I could use this publish function to make this view available to users that I think would use this view. So like purchasing manager would really use this view. So I could share this view with all purchasing managers. Click on publish. And then what will happen, this view will be shared with them and they will find this as a list of available views in their list of views. So this is a good way of standardizing your list of views within your organization. The other option that I want to show here is major changes around grid totaling. So this is a very good to use feature right now. If you want to sum total the net amount column here, either you have to see the total from the header section, or if this option is not here, then you will have to export this data in an Excel and then sum this up. So which is kind of a bit inconvenient. So now what Microsoft has done, it has given you a feature to right click on any numeric column and then click on total this column, and then you will be able to see the total of that column here just below that. You could also total this at any numeric column. Like for example, you can click here, you'll be able to see the sum total of all the unit prices, any numeric value here, okay? Here 156 is the sum total of all the quantity column here. Another beautiful feature that I found here is the feature of subgrouping. So you can just right click on any column and then you can group the grid by that particular column. So you can see that I had 3 items and then item number D0006 has been repeated 5 times for different configurations. So you can see that system is showing you the sum total of individual items as I'm grouping this form by the item number. You could group or ungroup at any point of time. Okay, so this is another very handy feature that you could use. Suppose you have sites here, you could have warehouses here, you could group it by that. So that is another major enhancement by Microsoft in this that I think is very useful for everyone. Let me move ahead. So I'll quickly show you another major change on financial reports. It's not a big change, but it's a very good to use change. If I open financial reports in front of you, you will find that we have a new form. We have a new, just a second. We have a new field expires after. So what is the meaning of this field? Whenever you generate a report in Management Reporter, so you have this expires after field, and then you can define when this report should expire. So depending upon the option that you select, it is by default 90 days. So you could pick that this report archive should be deleted automatically after 90 days for this report. So this report will be deleted automatically after 90 days. So which is a very good way of cleaning up your report archive in MR. Because if this tool is being used by many users, then your report archive seem to really grow, and it becomes difficult for you to quickly access an already generated report. So obviously this expires after feature controls that. It will automatically clean up that, and you could only keep valid reports that are generated by report administrators for anyone to view in future. So this is another feature that I found very useful. Okay, let me take you to another form, the vouchers transactions form, my favorite form. So it's like this is an inquiry form that you use a lot for your financial analysis, your ledger transactions tracking, your voucher analysis. My apologies, the form seemed to be a bit slow. Okay, so what Microsoft has done in this form is it has given you two important subledger references directly in the vouchers form. So I filtered vouchers transactions table for accounts receivable control account. And if you scroll right, you will find that you have the customer reference directly available in the vouchers form. So you can now quickly do your customer reconciliation and compare this with your customer subledger reports like customer balance, customer statement, customer aging, right? So and this is one of my personal favorites. You can see that here. The customer account name is made available here. Additionally, system is also is able to show you the vendor account and vendor name. So right now, obviously, this is AR related ledger. That's why the vendor account and vendor name is blank. But suppose if I filter only the vendor related transaction, so you'll be able to see the vendor data here in these two columns. Let the system refresh. Okay, so you can see that here on vendor related control accounts, what is the corresponding vendor that made that transaction at the subledger level, right? Like for this voucher, APIR 24, the corresponding vendor is City Power and Light. So I think this is a very good feature that will help your accountants to do quicker and faster reconciliation. Let me take you to another important feature that Microsoft has added in this. That's an inventory management module, and which is inventory management workflows. Now, all of you know that workflow is a very important feature for controlling your standard business processes. It was available on many forms, all financial journals, but was not available on inventory journals. But now that issue has been resolved by Microsoft. Microsoft has given you a workflow on all of the inventory journals like movement journal, adjustment journal, transfer journal, BOM journal, counting journal, ownership change journal. So most of these journals create a financial transaction in the background. So you can have finance team review those journals before these are posted by users. So that is another major feature, and it works exactly in the same way your general ledger journals work. So you configure your workflows in this form, and then you go to inventory journal table, and then you attach the applicable applicable workflow on the right journal. Okay. Okay. For example, if I take you to the journal table, you will be able to see. Right. So I have the workflow associated here. It works identical to the way the financial journal works. Now let me quickly take you to credit management. Now that's a major enhancement by Microsoft on the credit and collections module. So in the latest update, we have a whole new set of functionalities for credit management. We have new features like risk scoring by risk groups, maintaining credit statuses, maintaining insurance, temporary credit adjustment features, and we have the capability of putting individual customers or sales orders on hold automatically and then subject those to workflows for approving or reviewing those transactions. Let me quickly open a customer for you. So if I open a customer, Forest Wholesales, and I take you to the credit and collection quick tab, so you'll find that a lot of new fields, as many as I guess 15 to 20 new fields have been added by Microsoft in this. Previously, you just had a field for credit limit, that's it. Now we have a whole new set of fields for temporary credit limit, insurance and guarantees. Let's quickly go through these fields one by one. First thing is that you have a whole new credit management module. Well, that's what we are seeing right now. So if you want to exclude any customer from credit management, you could mark this checkbox. And you have the option of classifying your customers in valid customer credit management groups. So I can create logical groups like primary customers, bulk, like small customers, uh, as per your business requirement. Then you have the credit limit field, and this could be subjected to workflow approvals. Now you cannot make any changes in the credit limit unless it is approved by the workflow. That you can do. Then you have this temporary credit limit field. So what's a temporary credit limit? Something like suppose due to seasonal demand, the customer is reaching out to you for buying more than what you expected to buy. So in order to process that sale, you want to temporarily increase its credit limit. So you could do that. So here you have a whole new quick tab here, credit management, and then you have this temporary credit limits field where you can assign a temporary credit limit to a customer for obviously for a particular period. And then you have insurance and guarantees that you can capture if your customer has provided you insurances with the details of insurance providers, the insurance percentage, right? And what is the value. So you can capture all these details for the customer, and then it reflects automatically here. And then you have this new feature of credit limit adjustment. So what it does, so it allows you to create credit limit adjustment journals. So obviously you can control these with workflows. Microsoft has given 2 new workflows for managing your credit limit and credit limit adjustments. Suppose you want to make any changes in the credit limit, you can create a new record here, and then you can select that you want to change the credit limit of the customer from 500,000 to 700,000. So you could pick your customer here, and new credit limit, suppose you want to increase it by 580,000, and then it expires after 2 years. And then as I don't have I have not activated a workflow in this, that's why the post button is active. Otherwise the post button is invisible and you have a workflow here. So you have an audit trail for who made these changes. These are the unapproved changes, right? Another major feature is this risk score. So you can define scoring criteria for customers, and system can evaluate a customer's credit score by considering the current values of those criterias. So you can see that for this particular customer, it's a high risk customer because the criteria that I have for risk scoring indicate that it's a high risk score. So like you can create criterias like average balance, average payment day, Let me quickly open the risk scoring criteria form for you. Like this average balance, suppose if your average balance reduces, suppose I change it to 44,000, for example, let's see what happens. If I change this to 44,000, I save this. So you will see that from suddenly it has reduced from high to moderate, because as your average balance reduces, uh, your risk score also reduces. Okay. So if I take you to a risk scoring criteria, so that's available in credit and collection module. So if I take you to scoring groups, so you can create new criteria. So these criteria could be user defined or one of these 8 existing criteria that you find here in the group type field, right? And once you create a criteria, you need to provide the risk scoring. So like, for example, country of origin, right? So if a country of origin indicates that if a customer is from the United States, then it has a low risk score. And if it is originating from other developing countries, then it has a high risk score, right? Average payment day, you could indicate that if a customer is paying within a certain day, then it has a lower risk score. But if it is paying after a higher number of days, then it has a higher risk score, right? And then you have your risk classifications. You could classify your risks across low, moderate, high, very high. You can create values. You can indicate icons here for system to show you the classifications in terms of icons. Another major feature is customer credit groups here. So anytime an enterprise deals with a customer which has multiple companies across different legal entities of the enterprise, like for example, Contoso. If Contoso is my vendor, Contoso is dealing with me in these 3 companies in USRT, USMF, and USP2. I have an option to define an enterprise level credit limit for that particular customer. So when system does a credit check, so system will first check the credit balance in comparison to the global credit limit. And if that passes, then it will go to that particular legal entity and check the credit balance as per the credit limit of that particular legal entity. So it's like a double check to ensure that you are never out of credit for a customer. Okay, so let me take you to credit and collection parameters now. So we have a new set of fields like what are the credit management checkpoints. It basically indicates that at what is the point at which you will be checking the credit of the customer document, right? So here the customer document is the sales order. So here I'm telling the system that whenever I confirm a sales order, you will check the credit, and if the credit scoring criteria fail, then you will put the sales order on hold and then create a credit hold record in system for somebody to review. I could also activate this at the picking list level or release to warehouse level or packing slip or invoice level, right? You could also define the average DSO values or average balance values for system to quickly classify your customers in the right group. Now, if I'll take you to the sales order form quickly and then try to create a sales order for a customer. For example, I create a sales order for a customer US 004 Cave Wholesales, and then let's see what happens. So here I've selected a customer, selected a site, click on OK button, and then quickly assign an item on the sales order line. And then put a value to the sales order. My apologies, the form is a bit slow. Okay, so here I have the quantity. And suppose I put a value on the sales order, and then try to confirm the sales order. So if I'll try to confirm the sales order, what system will do? System will check the criteria of my credit check and then evaluate whether this sales order should go ahead or not. And then if it decides that no, the sales order should not go ahead, then it will put the sales order on hold and create a credit hold record. Unfortunately, the form is a bit slow. Let's just wait for this. This is important for me to show you that. If you click on OK button, so what will happen? So this is your default indicator that the credit limit has exceeded. And this is an old functionality, but now what you're seeing here, that system has created a credit hold, and a credit hold record has been created. If you go to credit management, you'll be able to see credit management hold list. Right, so you can see that system has added a new credit hold record where it is showing you a risk indicator. It is showing you the customer details, the sales order details. The sales order has not been confirmed, and it will tell you the blocking reasons why it has been blocked, because the terms of payment and there were existing invoices overdue, or the credit limit had expired, right? So because of these criteria, the sales order has been put on hold and the credit hold ID has been created. The credit hold ID is accessible on the credit and collections module for you, and then you can see all credit holds where all the sales orders that has failed the credit check and have this record created here for you, right? And then you can evaluate here this at the central level. So this is what we wanted to show you as part of the major changes on in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance system. Hope you liked it. Thanks a lot for your time.